What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Friday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt. To follow me across all socials, this podcast every morning being brought to you by our great friends at OmahaSteaks.com. Did you sweep last night? Because I swept it officially on the board. Actually, I got all four bets right. Same game teased that NFL game as well. 4-0, 4-unit night. Always fun when you have that on a Thursday. Why not go and take some of the winnings you guys are making off the podcast and go buy some Omaha Steaks and support the podcast? 50% off site-wide going on right now with their semi-annual sale, and they're going to knock off $30 on top of that after you go ahead to go through the full process of checking out. $30 off. Minimum purchase may be required with the code JUICE in the search bar at omahasteaks.com. All right, like I mentioned, 3-0. Under. Easily. Ooh, that was easy. Under for that. Wish every NFL game was that easy. Under 47, walk in the park. How about the hockey games? Both unders. Easy. 1-1 in overtime. We're under 6.5. It's beautiful. This is interesting to watch because the books are laying 6.5 because the public is betting 6.5 because they just think it's offense right now. No. The Wild at home? No. We talked about that last night. We talked about the fact that there are teams that we're going to look at and go, wait a minute. There are certain teams who are under teams that we know at home they're going to be under teams. The Wild are an under team, at least to start the year. The Minnesota Wild are going to be an under team. It doesn't really matter. The Blues were an over team. It doesn't really matter because, the teams who they're facing isn't always indicative as to what's going to happen on the ice. It's more the home team. What's the home team going to do? What's the home team's record? How active are is the home team, defensively? How do they want to play? Like Minnesota halfway into last year, flipped. Unders. And then they flipped and they became a massive over team. It was like, where did this come from? It was very unusual, but, we'll take whenever the book's going to give us big numbers and we think we're on the right side. We'll take it. Minnesota, Florida, 2-0. Dallas, St. Louis, 2-1. Ottinger at home, under. That might be the last 6.5 we get. Probably 6 and below the rest of the way for the Stars at home. Books tested it out, didn't get it. So we'll take the 3-0 night, up 3 units. And that puts us to a new high water mark for the Daily Juice since I've come back. When I came back, in January, February, whenever I came back, we're up 33.2 units on the podcast. It's not bad, okay? Got a nice week going here. Want to continue. Much like yesterday, I have 2 bets for you here today. I don't want to force it. I want to take Memphis at plus 4.5, but I got to bet that game in game. I got to see what Memphis looks like. Tulane's got the better offense, but Memphis, they're 1-3-1 ATS this year. They're not good at ATS. Tulane's not great, but they're better. I think the game goes under, but I'm not positive. I got to watch it. That's an in-game bet for me. I'm not going to force it. This is one of the new leafs I've turned over, I guess, for the podcast is not to force it. So I've got 2 bets for us, one in college football and one in hockey, my 2 favorite sports to bet. There's no baseball today. Phillies don't play until Sunday, right? For the NLDS, and the ALCS starts tomorrow, right? On Saturday for the ALCS between Houston and Texas. So we got some time away from that. Huge college football Saturday, huge NFL Sunday, all still to come. So why force it here on a Friday? If I like a third bet, I'll put it in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. But 2 bets for you guys right here. Let's start with Colorado at home against Stanford. The number is up to 12.5. Total is 60. Now, 24, 21, and 2. Is it football? Sorry, that's hockey. I'm very tired. Stanford, 4-1 to the under this year. Colorado's 3-3, but they're 2-1 to the over at home. Here's the thing. Stanford's going to burn clock. They can't get in a track meet with Colorado. Are you kidding me? They get killed. They know that. So they got to burn clock. Buffaloes want to play fast. But Deion Sanders had an interesting quote this week talking about the fact that he hates these games being played at 8 o'clock local, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. He said, don't you care about the East Coast folks? Don't you care about eyeballs and people watching? Doesn't like it. He was talking about he's happy they're leaving the Big 12 to get out of their TV deals so they're not playing conference games on Friday nights. They played Colorado State on a Friday night. Game went over, but that was more CSU than Colorado. I don't think Stanford can score very much, averaging about 18 points per game. But the Buffalo's defense is not very good. But it comes down to pace of play for me. Like, how fast will Stanford look to play? I just don't think they're going to want to go up and down. They're going to want to play keep away. Okay, I think they lose the game. I think there's a good shot the Buffaloes maybe win by 10, 14, but it's right there. I'm a little concerned about that. I would lean towards the dog here. I'm going with the under, if you can told. Under 60, I lean towards the dog. Turnovers, huge. Stanford cannot turn the football over. They've given the ball away, 0.8 times per game. That's not great. They don't take the football away at all, which is really not great. The Buffaloes give the ball away 0.8, but they take the ball away 2 times. That's 17th best in the country. Stanford can't do that. They turn the ball over here. The over might be in jeopardy, but 18 points a game for Stanford, 4.7 yards per play, 113th in college football, 3.6 yards per rush, 6.6 yards per. I don't like this, but they play really hard. Like, on paper, Stanford looks bad, but they play really hard. They get after it. They're a tough team to face. They're not easy. They're 2-3 ATS. They're 1-1 on the road. They covered against Arizona. 13-point dogs, lost by 1. They're 12.5-point dogs right now, okay? They're on the road against Hawaii. They're laying 2.5. They won by 13. They got killed against USC, and then they lost as 7.5-point favorites against Sacramento State. They lost that game. That was the big eye-opener. But since then, they've lost 4 games in a row, but they've played better. And then they got, at home against Oregon, they got killed. They were catching 27. They lost by 36, but they were at home, and they got killed. Colorado was on the road, and they got killed, both by Oregon, both by the same score, by the way, 42-6. I'm going to go under. It might be 40-7. Like, it may just be an absolute rout. Just don't think Stanford scores. I think they play ball control. They burn the clock, and I don't think the Buffaloes have enough time. Under 60, 1.1 units under for Colorado and Stanford. Speaking of unders, to the NHL. There's 2 games tonight. Light slate, only 1 game I want to bet. Pittsburgh's on the road at Washington. At home last year, the Washington Capitals were 24-21-2 to the over. To the under. They were 20-18-2 to the under. The Pittsburgh Penguins were on the road. Penguins last year, a team that on the road when Jari was in net, they were very consistent going under. Jari had a 1.9 goals against average. He is scheduled to be in net tonight here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 4-2 was the opener. Lost to Colorado. Game went under. Jari gave up 4 goals. No good. Darcy Kemper, 1-2 with a 2.93 goals against average last year against Pittsburgh. But Washington generally 20-18-3 under at home. I think I read the wrong stats. Sorry. Washington 20-18-3 under at home. Penguins 26-15 to the under on the road. 6.5 is the total. We're going under. Under 6.5 for Washington and Pittsburgh here. Opener for Washington. Second game for Pittsburgh. But I think we're going to see less scoring. 4-2 final. Much similar to game 1 with Pittsburgh. 3-2 final. 4-2 final. I'm going under. Penguins, Capitals. I know it's kind of scary with a Capitals game, but given Jari and given the fact that Darcy Kemper has been good against Pittsburgh, and Jari was phenomenal on the road last year, let's see him be good on the road again after a bad opener at home. Under 6.5, 1.1 units, -110, Penguins and the Capitals. All right, so I may add a third bet. May have it for you in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. But if I don't, I may just hold steady with 2. We'll have 5 bets on Saturday. We'll have 5 bets on Sunday. We'll be heavy on the weekends like normal. No need to force it here on a Friday after a 3-0 night last night. Let's just keep it going. Keep the good week going. Under 60, Colorado, Stanford. Under 6.5 for Washington and Pittsburgh. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on all socials at SportsTalkMatt. Every single morning, the Daily Juice Podcast. Always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.